This is the new Apple Watch Ultra. It costs $800, or about the same as a new entry-level iPhone. So if you're deciding between getting a new iPhone or getting a new smartwatch, could you be better off just getting the watch? I am going to challenge myself to go 24 hours without my iPhone and just use my Apple Watch Ultra. The real challenge here is going to be seeing if my Apple Watch Ultra can fulfill all the functionality that I would normally need from my iPhone. Apple estimates the Apple Watch Ultra should last up to 18 hours with LTE enabled, which I've already set up through Verizon. But I'm actually gonna see if I can make it last 24 hours and go a full day without my iPhone. It is just after 2:30, so I think it's time to say goodbye and lock this away. All right, first things first. I do not have my camera on my phone with me, so I actually need to run to Best Buy to get an SD card for my physical camera. I'm gonna search on Maps the best way to get to Best Buy. 622 Broadway, 52 minutes, it shouldn't be that far. It should literally be right here. Wait, it's permanently closed. All right, well that's annoying, but the next one's only a 10-minute walk away, is that fine? So when I tried looking up the Best Buy location I planned on going to, I was informed that it's permanently closed, but luckily the Apple Watch Ultra let me know of some other nearby Best Buy locations, and it turns out that there's one walking distance away. I was gonna get on the subway, but this seems a lot easier. So if I'm not paying attention or we're having a conversation, get distracted a little bit, the Apple Watch Ultra will give me a little haptic feedback on my wrist, a little like tap, 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 just to remind me that I am following directions and I don't want to miss a step. There we go, I'm getting that buzz right now. We are turning left on 5th Avenue, and we actually shouldn't be too far from the location. It's right there, I see it. On your right, Best Buy. This might not be the most complicated walk, but I have to say the Apple Watch Ultra's estimation of my location is really on point, and the distance from where it measures where I need to turn or where my ultimate destination is has been pretty spot on. So I was able to go into Best Buy, find an SD card, and check out using only my Apple Watch Ultra. Now what's really exciting for me about that is now I know for sure that if I didn't have my phone and I didn't have any physical credit cards or forms of payment, that my Apple Watch would be able to help me pay for something in a pinch. I actually want to take some photos of the watch for a story I'm working on for work, but I feel like the park would be a really pretty place to do that. I actually don't know where the nearest subway is, and I want to start heading uptown to the park to use my new SD card. It's showing that it's an 8-minute walk to the B train, and the B train should take me right to outside the park. So I knew this would be the case, but I am feeling really weird about not having my phone to look down at, and I'm getting to pay a little bit more attention to my surroundings, I guess, but it's just weird. It's such a habit of mine that I guess I don't even realize. One of the features I was really excited to try as part of this experiment was using Omni, which is New York's version of Express Transit, to get through into the subway. You can use Express Transit through Omni on Apple Watch or iPhone, and that basically just lets me tap through and get to my train very quickly. And those cards work up to 2 hours after the Apple Watch's battery dies. I am at 88% after about 2 hours of doing this experiment, so I got nothing to worry about, but let's go. I would like to note, with all this moving around, I've already banked 8 exercise minutes on my rings. It's here. It's actually pulling up right there. So normally when I get on a train, I immediately pull out my phone and I look on TikTok or I do my crossword puzzle, but I can't do that right now, so I'm gonna pass the time with a little bit of music that I've downloaded to my Apple Watch and control my AirPods through. This little X here indicates that we're underground and my cellular has disconnected, which the same thing happens on my phone too, so that makes sense. just turned on active noise cancellation. Oh man, that was actually pretty easy. I had all the resources that I need on my Apple Watch to get to where I needed to be. But time is getting away from us right now, so I'm gonna make sure I get those photos in before it gets dark. That's actually a cool shot, right? I think that's actually perfect for my story. That was great. I got the photos I needed, but I'm actually coming up on dinner plans with a friend, so I'm gonna use the Apple Watch Ultra to text them and make sure that we're still on. One of my personal favorite features about the Apple Watch Ultra is this giant 49mm screen that's also flat. So when it comes to texting on it using that little keyboard, it's actually a lot easier, more than you'd even expect. One of my biggest anxieties of taking on this challenge that I'm being reminded of as it's getting dark is my personal safety. Now without my iPhone, a little wary, but there are some features on the Apple Watch Ultra that should give me some peace of mind. A long press of the action button actually can help me launch the siren. The siren is a feature exclusive to the Apple Watch Ultra, and as you might be able to hear, it is launching a rather loud alarm. Not for me. Some other safety features built into here. If I were lost directionally, there is a compass trackback feature, as well as emergency SOS and fall detection, which are all really great to have as I'm trying to go around the city without a phone, but still be safe and connected. All right, it's 5:30, which means it's happy hour. I'm meeting my friend here for dinner, and before I head inside, I think we should do a quick battery check. I'm at 75%, 3 hours into this challenge. That's honestly pretty good. We've been doing some pretty battery draining stuff, especially using maps and sending messages and things like that. Hopefully now just chilling at dinner, I won't see as much of a drain. So I should have thought of this before, but they only have QR menus that you scan on your phone, so I can't look at the menu with that, and I'm here before my friend, so I'm just gonna have to ask the waiter for a recommendation. Despite not being able to see the menu, using only the watch at dinner wasn't a problem. After enjoying some tacos, we were able to work out the check, and I could send my friend $35 from my watch using Apple Pay. After dinner, my Apple Watch Ultra was at 55% battery. I did enable low power mode during dinner because Apple estimates that the watch can last up to 60 hours with low power mode enabled, which just gave me some peace of mind that I would get home from the restaurant.
It is 10:30 p.m. on the first day of this no iPhone, only Apple Watch Ultra challenge. I'll come up with a better name for that, I swear. And 10:30 is my bedtime, which means it's time to wind down. Normally I would be probably on social media or maybe even like watching a YouTube video on my phone, but I'm gonna have a nice screenless night with this book that I've been meaning to read. And the final thing I wanted to make sure I did before I go to bed was have the strap here fit on nice and snug so that I will have proper sleep tracking, and also make sure that my alarm is set so that I can hopefully get in some exercise before work tomorrow. On that note, I'm gonna say goodnight. Good morning, it is 8:30 a.m. The Apple Watch Ultra successfully woke me up. There were haptics on my wrist. I can see that the Apple Watch Ultra took care of business overnight with sleep tracking, giving me a full overview of my sleep stages and how much rest I got. I also can see my battery life, which is a bit of a concern. It dropped down to 8% overnight. Remembering Apple's 18-hour battery life with LTE connectivity, this is panning out exactly considering that I started at 2:30 yesterday. So interesting to see that that estimate is accurate. but this also means that I will need to charge the watch in order to go to my workout and make sure I get all my credit for closing my rings. Okay, the Apple Watch Ultra is up to about 35%, but that's all the time that I have. So I also have the Alpine loop, which is made for security on the trails. Let's hook her in. I did a time to run workout using the treadmill, and what's great about that is those workouts are preloaded on my wrist. You could fit one more metric on there than you can on the standard Apple Watch. I think everyone knows that the Apple Watch makes a great fitness tracker, and the Apple Watch Ultra just does a few things all that much better. I was at 35% before my workout, which is a half-hour run. I am now down to 24%.
It's pretty obvious that the Apple Watch Ultra is designed for fitness tracking and outdoor sports. But Apple also promises its new ability to make phone calls out in the elements. I'm gonna put it to the test against the Apple Watch Series 8. Whether I love it or hate it, New York is a notoriously noisy city. Now, if I were to take a call on my Apple Watch, I want to know that the person on the other line could hear me clearly. So I've got the Apple Watch Series 8 here and the Apple Watch Ultra, and I'm going to leave voicemails for our producer so we can see side by side whether the call quality on one smartwatch is better than on the other. Call Marcus Cooper.
At the tone, please record your message. First up, we have the Apple Watch Series 8. Now, I've used the Series 8 to make phone calls before, but those are kind of when I'm in a tight position where I just need to pick up the call quickly, and then I'll reach for my phone after I've picked up the call. Every time I've been on the phone with someone, speaking to them this way, they said I sounded a bit hollow, but what do you think?
Calling Marcus Cooper.
Already, I think I can tell that the Apple Watch Ultra's speakers are louder.
At the tone, please record your message.
That's pretty loud.
Finished recording.
I feel like I can hear that pretty clearly.
Press 1 for more options. Now I'm talking on the Apple Watch Ultra. The Apple Watch Ultra is supposed to have better speakers and microphones, and that is so that you can make clearer calls with lots of ambient noise. Now it's designed for maybe more outdoorsy conditions, lots of wind, for example, but it's just as suitable against horns and all the hubbub in New York City.
Listening back to the phone calls, the clearest difference for me is the background noise is totally gone on the Ultra. You can't even tell that I'm in the busiest part of town. I still think the quality doesn't quite compare to speaking directly into an iPhone, but it is a major improvement. Speaking of phones, there's just enough time for me to hustle back to the office before our 24 hours are up. I did it! It is 2:30, which means I've survived 24 hours without my iPhone and just the Apple Watch Ultra, and it's time to get it back. Look at the notifications coming in. Everything's just buzzing so much. I know I joke that I don't even care about my phone anymore, but it actually was not as bad as I was expecting. I did keep reaching for it in my pocket at first, but I eventually just forgot that I even needed to have it. I replied to urgent messages on my wrist, I still had my laptop for work, and I had just the right amount of things going on in the last 24 hours that made this challenge possible. For those of you who don't know, I run the Tom's Guide TikTok account, so taking a break from that is like the number one thing that I think would just be impossible without a phone. Similarly, the Instagram and Twitter breaks were probably good for me, but I could not do it every day. I also know that I'd want the convenience of a camera every day. I have tested out Wrist Cam, which is a band that actually does put a two-way cam on your wrist, and it could be a solution, though it is a $300 device, so pair that with an Ultra and you could also afford a Pro model of an iPhone. Though that reminds me that a lot of what I managed here is also possible with a non-Ultra Apple Watch, so the Series 8 or Apple Watch SE, even if you have an earlier gen model, as long as it has LTE connectivity. But why the Ultra is best suited for an iPhone-free experience is the battery life, for sure. I got nearly the promised 18 hours of battery life with LTE enabled, which actually isn't that far off from what I get with my iPhone when I think about it. This challenge showed me just how much I can really do with the Apple Watch Ultra. For communication, safety, travel, payments, and more, this did the job. I don't think the Apple Watch will ever really replace the iPhone, but the Ultra is as close as a smartwatch has ever been to an iPhone replacement. Let me know if you'd want to see me try ditching the Apple Watch for my next challenge. Low-key, I think it would be harder for me, especially after getting used to doing so much here on my wrist. Be sure to let me know your thoughts or hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, Tom's Guide, and Kate Kozich. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.